Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. If you're new, my name is Laura. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos from me. So today's video, I wanted to share my C-section story with you all, just to kind of give a bit of advice, tell you what kind of happened, my experience really. So I had a C-section with my second child, Charlie, who is now just over two. The reason I had a C-section is because I chose to have one, or I was told I needed to have one. With my firstborn, Isabel, I had a very traumatic birth, let's just say. You never know what's going to happen when you give birth, and unfortunately with Isabel, it didn't go to plan. I have done a blog post on this, so I shall link it below for you if you want to check that out. So with Charlie, it was decided when I was about 5 months pregnant that I was going to have an elective C-section. I went in to see the consultant. They kind of told me the pros and the cons, and I had to obviously do what was safest for me, and more importantly what was safest for Charlie, and that was having the C-section. So at that point they gave me a full health check like any midwife would do, and then they sat me down and I kind of had 4 dates to choose from, and we picked the 1st of September. So it's a very strange feeling after having a natural birth the first time to pick your date that you're going to have your baby on. It's really odd, but at the same time it does give you this feeling of like you're in control, you can completely plan, we can sort childcare out for Isabel, you just know where you are. So getting to the 1st, we got to the hospital for 8 o'clock, as that's the time we were told, and then we kind of expected that we were going to be waiting around for quite a while. No, we weren't. Within 10 minutes of me sitting down in the room on the bed, a midwife came in and did my blood pressure, did all of those types of checks, and then said, get ready, you'll be going down to theatre soon. And I looked at my husband and said, why is this happening so quickly? This is not the way it's supposed to go. Like, I'm one born every minute, and other people, you kind of just sit around waiting forever. It's normal in hospital. Within a couple of minutes of getting ready, the anaesthetist came in. I signed all the consent forms that you have to sign for a C-section, and just before 9 o'clock I was taken down to theatre. Now, I don't remember walking down at all. Phil couldn't walk down with me to start off with. I had to go in, be prepped, have my epidural, all of that stuff, and then he was brought in later on. So I'd had an epidural with Isabel, not during the birth but afterwards. I had to have an epidural because I had to have some surgery to sort me out after I had her. Again, going into the blog post because I won't talk about it in this video. So I kind of knew what to expect, so that was a positive. I knew what to expect that numbness to feel like, but they do numb you slightly higher up when you have a C-section, so that was a bit odd, and it is a very weird feeling anyway. And then, like a lot of people say, you can't feel them trying to get the baby out. It just feels like a lot of pressure and like they're doing washing up in your stomach. That's the only way that I can describe it. And then before I knew it, Charlie was born. I didn't freak out at all during the C-section, apart from when they were pressing kind of up here, and they're basically pressing on your lungs to get the baby out, and it kind of did make me feel a bit breathless, and I did say to them, I feel like I can't breathe, and as soon as they kind of took that pressure off, it was absolutely fine. It is a strange feeling, I can't lie. And then he was here, like I was saying, and then the next bit is just a blur. It's just you're kind of in that newborn baby bubble, same as what I was with Isabel. I was wheeled back through to recovery. They were a bit worried about me to start off with because I was losing a lot more blood than is normal again, and I was flashing back to Isabel, and I was, oh my god, is this happening again? But it was absolutely fine. I stabilised. I was then moved on onto the ward. At this point, obviously, you're still completely numb. I would say that I wasn't back to normal. I had Charlie just before 10 AM. I would say that I didn't get all of the feeling back until late afternoon, so 4-5 o'clock, and it still felt a bit odd. So for the rest of the day I was obviously in bed getting to know Charlie, and I would say in the evening that's when I started to feel pain. And when I say pain, it is burning pain. Now, no midwives and no consultants, they just don't tell you, explain how painful it is afterwards. If you obviously take the painkillers that you're given, you'll be absolutely fine. But to start off with, you can feel exactly where it's been done, and it is painful. So the first evening, I was in hospital for 2 nights. So the first evening it was really hard. I couldn't get up to get Charlie. He was obviously in the cot next to me. I couldn't get up to get him. It was just too painful. And they said to me, if you need us, then ring the bell and we'll come in and we'll get him so you can feed him. Every time I had to press the bell when Charlie needed feeding, they would literally make me feel like I was bothering them. Now trust me, I've had Isabel. If I could get on with things and feed my own son without having to get somebody to pick him up, then I would have done. I'm very independent, but every time I rang that bell, they made me feel terrible. I was going to swear, then I'm not. So that's the only bad experience I had really of being in hospital, was the midwives made me feel like I was bothering them during the night. And then the next day again, I was fine. Obviously, Phil would come into hospital, brought Isabel in to meet him for the first time, which was just amazing. We've got some just the best pictures of that moment when they met. And again, I was in hospital again. I was a bit better that night. I found I could get up to get to him a bit more, but it's just pain, and you've lost all that kind of stomach muscle as well, so you have no strength at all. And then the next day I made it very clear that I wanted to go home. I kind of had enough. I knew that Phil was going to be around. He was around for the week after the birth. I was very lucky that he was going to be at home to help me and obviously to take care of Isabel while I recovered. So they did let me go home. All I remember was we were getting ready to go. Isabel was there too. She was just over what Charlie's age is now. She was just over 2, and she was messing around, getting bored as toddlers do, and the pain was coming back. And I knew if I let on to kind of the midwives, they wouldn't let me go home, because if they'd given me, I think it was liquid morphine, I would have had to stay in hospital. And Phil could see how much pain I was in. I was like, no, please just get me home. That's where I need to be. And I think you just know when you need to be at home. So when I got home, things were brilliant. They just were as I expected them to be. Phil did all the washing. He took care of Isabel. Obviously, I couldn't pick her up for a while. It's definitely a case of listen to your body. If I'd been doing too much during the day, then at night my scar would hurt. It's kind of a warning sign that you need to slow down. But I very much believe in, when you feel like you're ready to do something, then just go ahead and do it. You'll soon realise if you need to stop. So overall, I didn't want to make this video too long and rambly. Overall, I will say I didn't hear a lot about C-section before I went into it, like I said, but I came out with a really positive experience. I can't really say anything negative about the actual having the C-section afterwards. Yes, it's painful, but that is to be expected. My scar now is, you can obviously see it, but it's completely like silvery white colour, so it's kind of blended back in with the rest of my stomach. So yeah, I just wanted to share my story with you really, because I hear so many stories about C-sections just being awful, and they're a nightmare, and they're more traumatic than kind of natural births. And yes, they can be. If you have, I've been since told this, if you're having an emergency C-section, then yes, they can be a lot more rough, because they are obviously having to rush to get your baby out for, you know, a medical emergency. With my C-section, it was really slow, it was really calm, and that's exactly what I needed. So yeah, I'm going to end it there. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please let me know if you want me to do more videos like this. I can talk about other things. I've already got a few planned, but let me know. And please subscribe again if you're new to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!